Hey everybody, it's the Coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, it is a sound like no other when they raise that 12th man flag here in Seattle. We just heard it, and that means it's time for football at CenturyLink Field. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And last week they put together a 3-touchdown victory and were never challenged in that game. Let's see if they have a little bit of a letdown here.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point. But boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? This is taken at his 4. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by the former Cal Bear and the #1 overall pick in 2016, Jared Goff.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. And whoa, he's going to hope that that is not a sign of things to come. A rude welcoming to this ball game. That'll go as a loss of 5. And it'll make this a 2nd and long.
There is no doubt that Geno Atkins is really strong and stout at the point of attack. But I love his suddenness. The ability to make plays, to be in one spot, and then he's gone. And into the offensive backfield, he's a heck of a player.
And there, a big TFL tackle for loss.
Hard to believe that his father...
Looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Micah Hyde. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick-6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick-6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And that makes the score 7-0. So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be taken short. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And Detroit getting set to go now. First carry now. This is Johnson. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the...
On 2nd down now, it's Johnson. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It'll be a loss of a yard, and just like that, it's 3rd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd every...
And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. Jadeveon Clowney in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
No, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on, how about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
A good return there, 17 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Wilson throwing quickly out to Lockett. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Pretty shifty footwork, but didn't buy him much. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle, and they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
51 to Mike, boy, 51. Alert. Here we go.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. A little juke. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Lions will take over. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. A shotgun snap for Goff. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
On 2nd down, Johnson. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Touchdown, Detroit! Kenny Golladay, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
That's fielded in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, A 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Penny, a first down carry. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Tempo. Check. Crunch. Good job right there. Get wide.
This is Penny.
Check 50.
A look at the numbers from Penny last week. 13 carries, 73 yards.
And I know that last week's game is over, but this feels almost like a continuation of what he did in the previous game. It's almost like in his mind, he knitted together the 2 weeks with no break. He's off to a nice start here.
Easy.
On second down, here's Penny. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
He's going to throw one up for the end zone, and that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. These two teams all tied after one.
Hey, that's good. Switch. All go special.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Deshaun Hand in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it will be 4th down.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them. Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue, because you know after the sack there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again. And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more. On second down, it's Johnson. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there. Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Jadeveon Clowney has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total. The punter Bosher on now as he gets this one away. A well-hit ball there. 50 yards on the punt, 3 on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. So here are the Seahawks ready to take over on offense. They got the victory last week. That was against Jacksonville, and they lead this one as well right now out in front here. They've got it 1st and 10. They go play action with Wilson. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's caught inside the 30. It's a big play there for Seattle. 49 yards.
Well, we spent a lot of time exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. They look so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go get it. How about that play?
He's checking crowd.
Wilson leaves this one with Penny. Heck of a move, and then brought down near the 23. Trey Flowers there on the tackle.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
51, Mike.
On 3rd and 1, Wilson. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawks touchdown. DK Metcalf. His 5th touchdown now on the year. Yeah, the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
We see this route all the time, but when it's well executed, it's a beauty.
And it feels like the fade takes forever to develop, like that ball is just hanging in the air.
And the reason why is that the receiver is trying his best to work the defender inside and give himself space to fade away from him and catch the football, and that's exactly what happened there.
This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. On 2nd down now, it's Johnson. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35. Earlier this half, you were wondering how the defense was going to handle him defensively. Were they going to bottle him up at different levels, so to speak, is what you said. What have you seen so far?
Well, I think they've been absolutely terrific because it feels like on every play, if we were watching this in the film room, when he clicked off the film or stopped it, you would see 11 shirts of that same color right there in the frame trying to tackle him. That's what you're looking for.
3rd and 2, Goff. It's caught, Jones. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Goff. He gets this complete to Shaheen, the tight end. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Now a first down throw. Goff able to find Shaheen here. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
You got it.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up in the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football and spill the play, That's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Again, Goff. Galladay's got it, and the Lions have a touchdown. Kenny Galladay, as the first half is winding down, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. This one taken from the 7. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Final play of the half. It's Wilson. This complete to Lockett. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
I'm scared. Alert flare, alert flare, flare, flare. Hey, watch this.
They go play action now. Wilson. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. From his goal line here, Goff. And that's complete to Jesse James. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. First down Lions on a pickup of 13.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
They'll run on first down. Johnson. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time, but now it'll be 3rd down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
So a change of possession here on the punt. The Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field.
Check 52.
They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. They'll roll him out right. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. And with the rules as touchy as they can be, it's so hard to complete a diving catch in the end zone, but he just did it pretty well.
How about him getting his body, his hands, everything underneath and around the football without it hitting the ground and causing some doubt in the minds of the people who have to look at this and possibly review it. What a tremendous effort and a great catch.
This one taken from the 7. Getting set to go again here on offense, Jared Goff trots back onto the field. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the 3rd quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your pro? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far. There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this one. He's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the 1st.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. Now a 10th carry for Johnson. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Caught by Jones. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Wilson, the Seahawks take over now 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Watch the twist.
Boy, nowhere to go at all on that 1st down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. They'll try the right side here with Penny. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Play action. Now Wilson. And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time has run out on this third quarter of play. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter. Wilson and the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them, because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline. Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows the punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
Check, watch 54, watch 54. Let's go, let's get this ball back for the offense. Let's go.
Now Goff on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. 30, the 20. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. 94 yards, as they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point. And I think it's safe to say we won't call many touchdown passes longer than that this year, partner.
No, I would agree with that totally. And right now, you're looking at an offensive coordinator. Conservative would not go next to his name. Risk taker, definitely, because he valued the opportunity to create a big play against what could have been disaster if they end up getting sacked or fumbling the ball in the shadow of their own goal line.
They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big.
Check 24.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he'll be out right at the 35. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. Wilson now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Wilson, they'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a 2nd and long.
Here we go. Alert 3.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. Fair to say the secondary play, whichever side you're on, hasn't really been a glowing exhibition so far, but a nice job there to prevent a long completion.
I agree with you, but at some point, someone had to make a play and try and stop this exhibition of almost speed racing that we've been watching, huh?
Yeah, it has been quarterback and receiver dominated. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. The defense did their job. 4th quarter, big stand.
No doubt about it, because the offense has been yelling at them from the sideline. Just do us a favor. Get us the ball back. Give us one more chance to take it downfield, The defense just did them a solid, it appears.
And when they get the ball back, they can kind of play free, tie game. They're not behind. 47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, let's see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Jadeveon Clowney there on the stop. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. From the gun, here's Goff. Jones has it. And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
Here's Goff. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Lamb. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a 1st down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Again, it's Johnson. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
Got a man on the right sideline. It's Wagner. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards is still sitting.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 2nd down, it's Johnson. Legs still churning.
Like a giant pinball.
And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down.
And we got to get to the ball, D. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep it cut.
The busy night continues for Johnson. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Gonzalez's kick is good. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they manage the clock exactly right.
So Wilson and the Seahawks down 27-24. A minute 40 remaining. They need, at minimum, 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. Some pretty good games all weekend. We may have saved the best for last. This Monday night game has been a dandy. Back to throw. Dancing to his left. He's going to take off with it. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down. Late in the game, defense trying to avoid a big play. He's able to work out of the passing game, turn it into a run, pick up the 1st, and stop the clock as well.
And you know in this situation, everything is sped up. The intensity, the thinking, everyone's movement. But for a quarterback, he has to continue to be what we call flatliner. Level in everything he does and read the clock, feel it in the pocket, and go at the appropriate time.
Now Rashad Penny. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
Let's go, D. Tighten up. Let's go, D. Tighten up. Check. Good job right there. Good job right there.
On 2nd down now, Jefferson. 5 yards on 1st down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Let's go.
Here's Wilson. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively. Brings up 4th down. 4th down now, and defensively, Charles, you know, they're just asking this crew for one more stop.
And you know that they're feeling the momentum right now, but they have to be very careful not to get over-exuberant, overexcited, and blow an assignment and give up the big 1st down.
They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the 1st, getting 14 yards on the scramble. He's going to let it fly. And that is incomplete. Stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf. And that'll bring up 2nd down. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
Final whistle blows, and we need some extra time here to decide who will be. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. They're set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team. And that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Johnson. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Overtime here out west, and you got a team from the Eastern time zone. Maybe their body clock's a little thrown off, or is that overhyped?
I don't think it's overhyped, and I think that for most teams, you're hoping that your mind overrules your body, because your body's looking for slippers and bedtime clothes, right? They're looking for the pajamas. But in this case, you've got to stay with it mentally. And what a lot of teams do, they never change their watches. They always say on East Coast time and just go ahead that way to try and defeat any of the effects of moving to the west.
They go with the ground game, pick up the first, now in plus territory.
And that changes the whole mentality of a play caller, doesn't it? Once they cross the 50, they feel like they're in the strike zone. All right? You don't have to be in the red zone to take those big shots downfield and go after the end zone. Right now, that might be available to them.
And now this first drive in OT continues.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Here's Gall. Oh, and it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. Score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Still catching our breaths from that electric finish. You get into overtime, that's one thing. It was a great fourth.